Assalamu-Alaikum everyone. Today we'll learn this topic. Yes, this one. So how are you doing, guys? Let's convey our salam to my students. So today we're gonna learn common name of organic compounds, and this is very basic things, and you need to know in every aspect of learning organic chemistry. So you need it in many times. Although this is a very old process. Everybody know that UPAC is the best system to naming, but you need to start from the basics. So common name is a must for everyone. So let's start the common name. The first things we need to learn of common name is there is a few things I am writing down right now. So the first thing, taking the white color, you need to remember primary. When we say primary, meaning there is only one carbon right there, and it will be named as N. For secondary, we have, we'll write it first. It's basically two carbons, and we call it iso. Tertiary is basically three carbons, and there is no name of it. And at last, they will have quaternary. Quaternary. It's basically four carbons, and it is called neo. This is the main basic things. So let's give an example of that. Suppose this is a carbon compound. So we need to identify which carbon is primary, secondary, or tertiary here. So let's start from this carbon. What do you think of this carbon? Is it primary, secondary, tertiary, or quaternary? So we're gonna understand it by the connections of other carbon. Like basically this carbon is connected to this one and this one. It means this two connections. So we can call it secondary. So here I am writing S. Let me take another color instead of S. Let's first. Let's start again. It's connected with one carbon, so we're gonna call it primary carbon. And this carbon is connected to 1, 2, and 3 carbons. So this is a tertiary carbon, and this is connected to only one carbon. This is primary, and this is secondary, and this is also primary. Let me give you another example of this problem. Let's take a bigger one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry. Is there more connection? And yes, let's add another carbon. So now let's identify the carbons here. This is connected to one carbon, so it's primary carbon. It's connected to two carbons, so it's secondary. it's connected to 3 carbons, so it's a tertiary carbon, and it is only connected with 1 carbon, it's primary. It is also primary, and this one is connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's quaternary. That's the first one, and this is a primary carbon. So that's is for this slide. We're going to check on the next slides. We have already learned to identify primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary carbons, and so now we're going to get some examples of learning the names. Let's start with this very basic one. So there is what we're going to name this carbon, this compound. There are 3 carbons. So basically it is propane. It's a propane. And so there are the three of the carbons are single bonds connected with one another with only 1 carbon. So this is a primary carbon, the main functional carbon. So it is called N-propane. So this kind of structure is known as N-propane. Suppose let's talk about another compound. If we add a alkyl group with this propane group, what we're going to name it? Now, first of all, there are 3 carbons, so we're going to call it propane. Prop will come easily. Then the functional carbon here is an alkyl group, so we're going to call it, and the alkyl group is connected to a primary carbon, so we're going to name it N-propyl alkyl. Please note another important thing for secondary carbon. If alkyl groups are connected, we're going to call it iso, and if functional group is connected to secondary carbon, we call it sec. Let's give an example of sec compound. Here we can see that there is a functional group which is connected to a which carbon? This is a secondary carbon because it is connected to 1, 2. So what will be the name of this compound? As this is functional group, we have already noted down there. If functional group occurs in secondary carbon, we call it sec. We're gonna call it sec. It's 3 carbons, so propyl, and OH group refers to alcohol. This is called sec propyl alcohol. Now let's go to try some tertiary carbons specifically. Suppose I am drawing a tertiary structure. Here, this is a ring structure. This carbon, totally, this one, yes, this is connected to 1, 2, 3, and 4 carbons. So, the alkyl group is wholly connected to the tertiary carbon. So, what will be the name of this compound? As we can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. It will be pentyl group, surely. When quaternary group appears, we call it neo. What? Neo. We have already learned on the first slide. Now, it's a 5 carbon, so we're gonna call it pent, and there is alkyl group, so it would be called neopentyl. Now we have already learned some techniques to identify the common names. Let's do some hard problems right there. Let me take a color, please. Color. Let me take yellow one. So this is the hard. If you can solve it, you will never miss any common names surely. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 7 carbons and one double bond. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I have to add 1, 3. So this is the structure we need to name. Now what will be the name of this structure? First we need to identify the main branch of this structure. So here is the main branch of this structure. We can surely recall. So this is the main branch, and we do numbering using our techniques. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now this is we can call it heptene, suppose. Heptine. Now imagine this considered portion of, imagine it, suppose let's imagine this structure to this one. Just like this, the main branch will be replaced by alkyl group. So we need to name this compound. What will be the name of this compound? I think you can easily memorize this one, can easily recall this one. What will be the name of this? As this is the main carbon and it is connected to 4 other carbons. So this is the structure will be named as tertiary, referring tertiary, and there are 4 carbons, so it will be an alkyl group, it will be butyl, but the number is, the branch we supposed is on the 4th carbon. Yes, here is the 4th carbon which we branched out. This is the 4th carbon, this is an 4th carbon, so we're going to name it 4 for that. Now the whole name of this compound will be 4. Simply add this text with the first one, 4-ter-butyl heptene. This is the name of this complex structure. I hope you will easily understand this structure and you can now clarify any common names. What would you like to do? Thank you very much, everyone.